finally starting to look like spring down here in Southern California. Welcome everybody to my YouTube channel. Today's video we shot out in California's poppy fields. Right now California is going through a super bloom and it's making it look very springy. Thus why I made this short about spring. Now if you guys haven't already seen the super bloom but plan to go, I definitely encourage you guys to go. Even if you guys felt I did a good job with that video, it is just not like the real thing. With that being said, I need to go on a little bit of a tangent here. Do not step on the flowers, do not walk through the flowers. Creating your own trails, even though it looks like it's a trail, just don't. Stick to the paths. And even though these flowers are going to be dead in 2 to 4 weeks, and it's been kind of a controversial topic, let me explain to you, for those of you guys who don't know, if you guys pick the flowers and go through the trails, you are being selfish and inconsiderate. Thousands of people have been going to look at the poppy fields. Imagine if every person picked one flower each visit. That would really make a significant difference in how many poppies you guys saw. The other thing is, if you guys go walk and crush the poppies and all that stuff, even though there's so many, even though they're gonna be dead in a couple weeks, you're making it harder for them to grow back next year. And that's what a trail is. A trail is from people walking on it, compacting the soil, making it so plants can't really grow there. That's my little tangent. If you guys go, be responsible, be thoughtful, think of future generations, just don't think about just your Instagram posts. And if you're driving all that way just to get an Instagram photo like your friends have, try to enjoy the nature. Now with that little tangent being done, final note, just go check out the super bloom if you're in California, or if it's a drive, it's worth seeing. My next topic is kind of how I've been feeling as a creator and just opening up and talking to you guys. I know what I like doing. I like making videos like the ones that you saw at the beginning, but I want to offer up more, if that makes sense. It's great to see beautiful places and stuff like that, but I also want to bring you guys into my life. One of the things that I've noticed is a lot of YouTubers that I guess I kind of follow and that I know, they are tech reviewers. They're talking about the latest camera gear, and I find myself always staying up to date with the latest camera gear. And I notice how many views those videos get and how many subscribers they get and how quickly they grow when they're talking about teaching people how to use camera gear and about the new gear and spec sheets and reviews and what it can do. It got me realizing there's a lot of people who want to be photographers and filmmakers. And it's a very competitive field, especially on the YouTube space. I've been joking around that everybody wants to be famous, everybody wants to make videos for a living, and they see it as this easy life. And that's not everybody. Usually the ones that make it realize it's a lot of hard work, but they love it, which I'm one of those people. I love making videos. If I go a long time without making a video, I get anxious. I get like, I want to make it. Like, I think about it night and day, and I'm not sick of it. Even when I'm making client videos and it's exhausting and time consuming, and even though I might get frustrated that like I missed a shot or something like that, I love it. What got me really wanting to talk about it in this video was a video made by iJustine. iJustine, awesome creator, been on the YouTube platform for years. I've had the pleasure of talking to her, meeting her at a couple events for professional videographers and photographers and big technology events.
But it was nice seeing you. See ya.
And her video took place at the same poppy fields. And she released this review of a new camera that came out, the RX0 Mark II, which is kind of a cool little camera, and I'll talk about it in a little minute. But she went to the same exact place that I filmed all this beforehand, and it was just really interesting to me. On a side note, for the drone footage, that was legally obtained. I got permission from a ranger. It was a pain in the butt. I had to call the state parks department. They had to transfer me over to the ranger in charge of that area, and I could only fly it certain times. There were a lot of people flying illegally, and that caused some problems. But to get a permit there, you had to have your drone pilot's license, and you had to call in advance, and that's pretty much how it works with California state parks. From my experience, is you contact the park ranger's office. They'll tell you if you have to get a permit. They'll tell you have to purchase a permit. They'll tell you what requirements that you have, and they'll work with you as long as you're asking permission. What's getting the rangers more frustrated, I'm realizing, is just the sheer volume of people who just aren't even informing them. When you're taking off these drones in these spaces, you don't know what's around. There are helicopters flying at 200 feet, really low, I didn't know that airspace would have that kind of traffic. There was this, it wasn't a plane, but it was essentially a hang glider with a motor on it that was flying 200 feet. And I can see where flying your drone illegally without letting anybody know could have become a huge hazard. But that's getting on a tangent. Side note, that's actually kind of what I've been trying to do when I do talking head points, is kind of get relaxed, let my brain wander, and just have a conversation like I'm having a conversation with you guys in person. I know a lot of people struggle with talking to the camera. They're like, oh, I don't know what to say. I was like that a lot, and I still get kind of like that, so it takes me rambling and stuff to get comfortable. But seeing I Justine go to the same place and making a video that I know people are going to be super interested in, it's about a new camera and everybody's super excited about it, made me think how easy it would be to gain an audience based off of like talking about camera stuff. And I battle with that because I know I can make review videos, I have a ton of gear, I have a ton of experience with this, and I'm going to make content like that. But I also want to challenge myself creatively and put creative content out there because I don't want to be a review channel. Those are kind of my feelings. With all that being said, let's actually talk about this RX0 Mark II. I actually kind of wanted that camera, but I couldn't justify it because it was like a niche product. Let's first bring up the biggest selling point for this camera. It's the form factor. This camera is tiny. I don't actually have it, but you can see other YouTube reviewers with it in their hands. And it's basically like the old RX0, maybe a little bit thicker. That would be a good size comparison. The benefit is you can throw it into your bag when you're traveling and it's not going to take up a lot of space. You can fit this thing into spaces that you normally couldn't fit your big cameras, so very creative shots can be had with it. People are going to try to compare this to the GoPro and that the video features aren't as great as the GoPro, but that's not a fair comparison. This camera is double the price of a GoPro. It can't shoot 4K 60. It can't shoot 240 frames per second 1080. But it has that 1-inch sensor, which means you're going to get a lot better image quality than that GoPro footage. The slow motion, 1080, 120 frames per second. Awesome, it can get it. If you really want to use a novelty slow motion feature, it has 960 frames per second. I've used it a couple times on my channel with this RX100 Mark V that I own. It's a fun little gimmicky slow motion feature to use. Nothing for professional slow motion in my opinion. Whether or not you're going to get this camera is pretty cut and dry. I have friends who are professional videographers and they own several RX0s and use them for their B-roll or for their safety shots on weddings. They trust the image quality. Image quality is there, especially if you're posting it on YouTube, and for most platforms you're viewing it online. So don't stress too much about the image quality on it. The only thing you really need to consider is if you need a camera that size or maybe a waterproof action camera. Then the decision is GoPro or Sony's RX0. The GoPro is going to offer higher frame rate, so it's kind of better as an action camera. However, if you're going to be in lower light situations, the RX0 is going to be better and it's going to be able to handle it. Image stabilization used to be a reason not to get the RX0, but it now is in-body image stabilization, which is a huge upgrade with the RX0 Mark II. That's really it. That's all I have for you guys. That would be the deciding factor between RX0 Mark II and the GoPro Hero 7, whatever it's on. I'm not the biggest fan of GoPro. Once again, these are both real niche products. The big focus, and that's why I brought it up earlier, is to get creative with the camera gear that you have and to make what you love. Don't make it for the views, don't make it for the subscribers. Don't make content in hopes of becoming a famous YouTuber, because that's probably not going to happen. That being said, I hope to become a famous YouTuber. That way I can live out my dreams of living in an RV, traveling the world, and making videos like the one you saw at the beginning in beautiful places. A little bit hypocritical, I know. But if you guys want to ignore that and give me a thumbs up, that would go a long way to helping my channel. And if you guys are new here and you enjoyed this video, consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you guys didn't like this video, in the famous words of Gerald Undone, feel free to hit that dislike button twice. I'll see you guys in the next video.